Okay, hello Tube Dwellers and welcome to something extremely different. Nip Nip, because I know it's you, you're going to be the most annoying tutorial NPC that never shuts up. Excellent, you can constantly say there are many guards in the castle. Mist, why did you buy RPG Fez? Poor impulse control? And Nix, interessante, yes. Interesting. Well, we shall see. So let's get rid of that and jump on in. So, this is going to be a little new, a little unusual. It's Elvis. Hey, it's Elvis. Why did I say Elvis? It's Elixir. Hey, woo. Nice to see you. Sup, Vicon. So, yeah, this is going to be a little bit unusual, a little bit new. Done at the, I did have a vote and a lot of people said yes, so we're going to give it a try. So, this is RPG Maker MV, the latest in the RPG Maker series by Enterbrain/Dejika, that whole company group. Can be run on PC, iOS, mobile operating systems. It's really pretty cool. So it's gotten a bit of a poor reputation from being flooded on Steam, but Unity has that same problem and it powers Hearthstone. So hey, it's pros and cons. So, if there's any questions you'd like to ask as we go along, please do let me know. If you'd like any of the resources shown here, except for the graphical ones, because you do have to buy those, let me know. And if you have any suggestions of your own, let me know about that as well. I know a few people in the chat are RPG Maker sort of pros. So I figured we'd start out with a copy of a game I'm kind of pottering around with at the moment, which is just some sort of little light and dark thing I'm mucking around with. So I'm going to try to move these around so that the thing's not exposed. Let me know if the volume is too loud, too quiet, so on and so forth. So, as an example of things you can do, here we go. You can wander around, da-da-da-da-da. I've changed the menu system so that it's like this individual little thing, which I like better. There we go. And we can muck around with lighting, which I enjoy very much. So this is all done with plugins. Turn these on, turn these off, and it affects things. And we have over here a little flashlight. So with the flashlight, I've tied it to page down, or page up rather, sorry. And there we go. Whee! Fun, fun, fun. Vicon, volume is okay. Excellent. Good. There's not much volume at the moment because I haven't done any real background to it, but it's a lot of, sometimes. So the way that it works is that light's going to play a pretty important part in this game. If all the lights in this room are off, for example, and I try to search the bookshelves, a bit difficult to read anything in the dark. If we turn on one of these lights and we go back to the bookshelf, suddenly he can actually read what's there. Alexis, you like the light aspect. I'm enjoying it as well, I must say. It's going to tie in as well. It's going to be a bit of a creepy game. So if the lights are on, you can watch TV. He complains that there's never anything good on. If the lights are off, then you actually are going to get some hidden clue, some sort of special thing that appears. If you interact with electronic objects while the lights are off, it'll give you much different responses than if the lights are on. And that'll work if any of these lights are on. So long as there's some light that he can see by, no problems. Kukul, you're here. Welcome, welcome. And then you've got things like this. Chick, chick, chick. Switch has never worked. Something wrong with the wiring. Or is it? Dun, dun, dun. And so on and so forth. Move around. Try to interact with the chair while the lights are out. Too dark to start moving the furniture around. Flick the light switch. Bing. The overhead light goes on. And we tidy up the chair, which allows us to move around in the room and interact with the other bits and pieces. Miss, does the flashlight have batteries? Not at the moment. I'm toying with that. You can see that I've got this user interface up here, the your crappy flat thing that's going to change depending on what room you're in and what time of day it is. So if we jump into here, maybe we should go to bed, and he climbs into bed. It's a different graphical face when you're in the bed because there's going to be a switching characters and I just haven't got his stuff up. So sleep on. The sun rises. And now we get some background music. So now you can see up here at the top here it says day. So I'm considering, given that it's all to do with sort of light and stuff like that, I'm considering changing this overlay user interface to be more electronic, maybe a camcorder kind of thing, in which case the batteries for that would indicate the batteries in your flashlight. We'll see. Google, school Wi-Fi bad, you're gone. Okay, well, it was nice to have you for the short amount of time you were here. And let's jump back into bed. Oops, there we go. Night has fallen. So you have this opportunity when night falls to either stay in bed and sleep on, or to get up and explore. If you get up during the night, then you'll be able to... This is annoying me, I'm going to turn the lights off. If you get up during the night, then you're going to be able to sneak around other people's houses. Why? I haven't quite figured out yet. I do this kind of organically. But let's take a look at that. Also, we'll turn the flashlight on. We'll change rooms. Sneaking. So you're now in sneaking mode. Every action you take makes noise. The more noise you make, the more likely it is the sleeping person will wake up. It's up to you to decide when to leave. Just don't wait too long. And you can see the flashlight's gone out, and if we try to turn it on again, better not. Waving a flashlight around is sure to attract attention. And again, you see we changed the face because it's a whole thing. Don't worry about it. So the idea is there's going to be somebody sleeping down there in the bed, and you can see that the zzz stuff that keeps flashing up, all done by plugins. Now I haven't made most of this house interactive yet, but what I have done is done this. So the idea is what's in here, we can open it or leave it. If we open it, creak noise, and there's nothing in there. Now that's increased a hidden value, which I'll show in a second, and also you can see up here Jessica's house. It's increased a hidden value that will add to the overall noise. So depending on what you're doing and how much noise it makes, will add to this hidden value, and if we do this enough, it'll actually change the person's sleeping patterns. So that should change now. Yeah, there we go. So now it's changed to snirk. So they're beginning to wake up, and if we keep going, creak. There we go. All right, so that should have changed it again. There we go. They're beginning to wake up. So there's going to be no visible sort of numerical indicator. It's not going to say, oh, you're very, very close. There they go. They're beginning to wake up even more now. There's going to be no visible indicator. You're going to have to kind of figure it out. So, hey, who's there? Caught, sent to jail, to be implemented. So we'll figure that out later. Alright, so the way that all of that works is we start with the plugins, and these are the plugins that I use here. There's not that many, but the important ones are the Community Basic and the MV Commons. These are kind of released by the overall community, and they really, really help out. They have a lot of functionality that can plug into a lot of other things. We're using the Yanfly core engine, ZAL Game Focus, Outer Cell Switch, and Mog Sensor. The stuff that affects the lighting, simply Terax lighting. Grab that and you're ready to go. The message stuff is the Yanfly message core, which ties in with the core engine. And then the animated text for the snoring and stuff is the Mog animated text. So it's awesome. Missed, will there be a jailbreak out option? Almost certainly yes. The idea of the game is to be as interactive as possible. I kind of grow these things mostly organically, honestly. I start out with a kernel of an idea that I like the kind of feel of, and then the story kind of branches out. So there's a few directions this could go in. I'm not sure whether to make it sort of survival horror-y, dark RPG. I could even turn it into an adult game. Vicon, what's the overall objective of this game? Generally speaking, I never have like a... There's always like a kernel of something I start with. Either there's something that I want to say, or there's a very cool mechanic that I want to explore, or I'm just doing it in order to make money. This one's the cool mechanic. I really like mucking around with light and dark in these games, and I think it can be a lot of fun. I'm just not sure what kind of exact genre I want to take it into. It's Elixirs. Where do you get the plugins? You can get them all over the place. The main place you get them from is the RPG Maker web. This is their main website. This is the guys that actually own RPG Maker. And then you can go in here into the forum support JavaScript boards, and you can get all of the stuff here. One of my favorites, I actually haven't opened them up, but I really should, is Atelier RGSS. This guy, Mog, he is really, really, really good. So he's got some phenomenal plugins here. Once you got the plugins, it's really, really simple. You just take them here and you just drop them literally into the plugins folder in your work document. Very, very, very simple. Once they're in there, you open this up. Here are the plugins. Double click on an empty space. Find the plugin that you want, and away you go. Nib, you had no idea this was a thing. Seems very interesting. I really enjoy it. It's been around for decades at this point. Not this version, but yeah, I mean, they had RPG Maker 2000 RPG Maker, VX, VX Ace, 2003, all kinds of stuff. DS as well, they do want DS. Is it easy to implement? Yes. Mist, feels like you're just a guy robbing people. Well, I have no idea if you're going to... yeah, at the moment, I'm thinking it's not going to be about theft, right? There's a couple of ideas that I have for... That's a different room. There's a couple of ideas I have for where to go with this sort of thing. Either you're going to be... sneaking into people's houses, looking for specific clues for particular things, trying to figure out the secret of the city. Or is going to be an adult RPG, in which case you'll be looking around for sort of clues in order to figure out how to approach them, some creepy thing like that. I don't know, it's mostly just for money, that kind of genre. Or it's going to be a survival horror game, in which for some reason you need to move around these places, but people can't find you. Turning it into a thief game, probably not, because I've I've mucked around with sort of stealth mechanics in RPG Maker. It works okay, but it's not brilliant. So almost certainly not a thief style game. But yeah, this is one of the rooms where I was kind of thinking, maybe a survival horror kind of thing. It could be quite interesting there. It's Elixir. Can we see you make a room? Yes, I'm just about to do that. So that's generally the idea. So let's create a new room. You can see I've started to muck around with a whole bunch of things. Here's a beginning of an outside map. Here's like this, weird culty thing. That's a lot of fun. I was mucking around with this for various bits and pieces, sneaking da-da-da-da. So we will make an all new map. Let's make an indoor scene. It's just more there's more detail to those, generally speaking. So let's make a kind of worn down flat. So worn down flat. Okay, and we'll make it, let's say 25 blocks by 25 blocks. We'll use the Pop City interior, which I like, and that'll be that. Okay, good. So we start out with this. I like starting out with these larger sort of things, and then we shrink them down. As you can see from here, I try to make it so there's like 5 squares from the top, 5 squares from the left, 5 squares from the right, 5 squares from the bottom. So I shrink the maps down just so that when you're moving around in them, it feels okay. Mish, we could do an office building. Okay, yeah, sure. Why not? Let's do an office building. So we just edit that. Office building. Okay, and to anybody who's interested, the tile sets that I'm using, yeah, they are pop. They're by a girl, like 90% sure is a girl, very, very talented woman, who has a website over here, Vexed Enigma. So if you want these tiles, just pick them up from here. You can pick them up from here as well, and in fact I've got this whole Vexed Enigma deal going, but the IO one tends to be better maintained. There's more stuff to it, and if you buy them there, then you can get them for VX/VX Ace and MV, and it all comes bundled as the one. So if you want to use the other variation of this RPG Maker program, you can. So yes, let's use the interior now. We may need to muck around with this slightly because the interior is not really designed, as far as I'm aware, for office. Well, we can make this work maybe. Yeah, we may not need to do too much editing. But we'll change the maximum up by a couple, and I'll just show you here. So you can create different tile sets. You can see I've got A, B, C, D, E, and R. So here we can say office building tile set. It'll help if I spell things correctly. And then for the A1, you can choose any of these. So PSF A1, well, that's no good to us because it's all exterior stuff like that. It's not really very useful. So let's look at this one. That would be a little bit more useful, maybe. Indoor fountains. Yeah. Yeah, so let's go with that one for this. A2 for the ground. Again, we don't want that. It's PSF anyway. So we can go for here, internal flooring, or we can go for this kind of vaulty flooring. You see, it's all got A2, A2, A2 here. So let's go for this one. It looks more useful. The A3 building side of things, that's really the only A3 we've got. So we'll go with that. A4 for the walls. Boom, boom, boom. Here we are. Okay, so we've got factory here, which is not really office building, though, is it? That's a hospital predominantly, but we could make that work. That's for shops. We don't really want that. Yeah, vaults, we don't really want that. Winter cities, no. Winter office? Maybe. Let's go with winter office. It fits. Mayors don't know Stephen died. Yes, Stephen Hawking tragically has passed away. I considered making this live stream kind of more of a memorial thing, but I don't know. It felt a little bit like pandering, even though it would have been from the heart. So A5, laboratory, let's take a look. Factory, yeah, it's not really very officey, that one, is it? Apartments, not really very officey. Hospital, that's not very helpful. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, let's go for that, actually. Let's go for that. Miss Zero, why does RPG MV have a join game option? It has a join game option because you can actually make multiplayer games with RPG Maker MV. It's not super easy, but it's possible. A few people have already, and they've been interesting. So, let's see, we want tile B now, something like a factory. That feels factory-ish to me, so let's go with that. Kind of a gunsmithy factory, or office rather, I mean, not factory, but, you know. Tile C's, that's not bad. That's not really very good, is it? That would work for an office. That's kind of a Christmas office. Let's go for the normal office. Nathan, make sure to use Yanfly's plugins. Yes, I mentioned those at the beginning of the live stream. I'm using Yanfly Core and Yanfly Message. If you're using battle, if you're going to have battles in your games, then make sure to include Yanfly's battle systems because they do make it much, much better if you don't want a variation on the default. If you want something completely different, of course, you'll have to figure that out. That's more of external, so let's go internal. And finally, the E's. Yeah, this one. Okay, so with that in place, we could start mucking around with passable tiles. So circle means that you can walk over it fine. X means that you can't. And on things like this, you've also got star, which means that if your character crosses onto that tile, this particular graphic will appear on top of your character. So very, very interesting. You can also change what direction you can approach these things from. So, you know, it's okay to approach from the left or from the right or from the top, but it's not okay to approach from the bottom. And all this kind of interesting stuff. If you set these things as ladders, your character will do a ladder animation. If you set it as a bush, then it'll become partially transparent. Set it to a damage floor, your character will take damage. It's very, very in-depth. Yeah, we'll save that. That's fine. Nathan, HimeWorks plugins are really good too. Yep, HimeWork also does very, very good plugins. I don't think I'm using any of Hime's plugins in this one. No, I tell a lie. I'm using the side messages one. That's right. I kind of slightly edited this one and this one so that they worked well together, and then I tied in Gal's message styles as well so that we can get this very sort of specific kind of message style here. Right, so that, you know, we get this and the little thing up here and all this kind of stuff, and so that I can move the sort of press to continue notification. I didn't want it in the middle, it didn't feel right, so I've shoved it over to the right-hand side. So yeah, sometimes you have to take a whole bunch of plugins and figure them all out. All right, so this is for the event layer. We don't want that, we want this one. Miss, you just read the weirdest dialogue in an RPG Maker game. Okay, do share. So let's start out with a very, very basic floor plan. We'll start with here. Let's say this is going to be the main office floor. Now just very quickly check it's not under B, must be under C. There we go. So we're just going to very, very quickly check. That's going to take up that. So we want one space and then another one. So we right click to get that thing back, and then we do this. And then just to get a general idea of where things are going to go, kind of plug them in. We can do like this if we want it to be a very, very busy office. Yeah, all right, so that's working. That's going to work okay. Then we'll have that down the middle. Let's get some walls in place. What feels like an office? Does that feel like an office? Yeah, it feels kind of like an office. Not a very nice office, but kind of feels like an office. All right. Nipu. Awesome name. Do you intend to have a battle system? In this particular game, no. This particular game will not have a battle system. This particular game is going to be about using your intellect and that kind of thing in order to get past the puzzles. So something else, actually, I did that without sort of doing that properly. Hold on, I should show this. No, it's kind of working now. All right, so, all right, let's do it this way. So you can see here that you've got these black lines on the left and the right-hand side. If you don't want black lines on the left and the right-hand side, if you want it to all appear like flat, like this middle bit, what you can do is right-click everything that you want to pass over, and then hold down Shift and left click, and you can see that Shift and left click will place the tiles exactly as they appear in this sort of preview selection. Very, very useful, especially for outdoor scenes when you're trying to muck around with cliffs and things like that. So get rid of that, get rid of that. Okay, so this is going to be the main office block. We're going to want to move stuff out as well. So let's now start mucking around with extra rooms. Let's say we have an office over here, just a small one. This is going to be for one of the vice presidents, maybe. Let's make that just a little bit larger. And then we pull that up, just tidy that up a little bit. Okay. So again, you can see we've got a black line there. I don't want there, and I don't want that. So I'm going to right click on there, Shift, left click, Shift, left click. Okay, and we're going to do... In fact, actually, that could be the cafeteria. You know what? I'm feeling that as a cafeteria. So very quickly... Whoops. There we go. Let's do that. We're going to come back over all of this stuff and muck around with it and make sure it looks even better later. But just for now, I like to have a general idea of where things are going to go and what they're going to look like. So the fridge over there. Okay, that feels decent. Mist, you posted the screenshot in the Discord. Okay, well, I'll take a look at that in a bit. It's Alexis, that's awesome tips. You're definitely doing this. Oh, good. I'm glad that it's helping. Okay, let's take off the other side then. And let's turn that into... You know what? Let's turn this into a conference room. So just color that in generally. How am I feeling about that? Maybe it feels like it's not large enough. So let's pull it down. We can shrink it later if necessary. Okay. Just to get a general idea of how this is all looking. All right, so that's not bad. Once again, right click and hold, and then Shift and left click. And I also like to have the shadows going up the walls. I feel it works better. So you take the shadow tool. Yeah. Okay. Maybe. Not 100% okay with that, but it'll do for now. Always better to get like a rough draft sorted out and then worry about the details. And you know what? We're going to actually put a door here. And we don't want light switches on both sides, so I'm just going to take the light switch from that side. And there we go. Okay, so now we have the door in the center there, and it's going to be more or less permanently closed, so let's just do that. Okay, good. All right, so it's beginning to come together a little bit more now. That's the conference room. So this would really be the CEO's office. So let's fill that in. Drag this down. And there we go. Okay. And right click, shift left click, just tidy all that up. We don't want extra. We're fine with the black line on these sides because that gives it a nice rounded edge, but we don't want any sort of rounded edges here or here because the wall's technically going in past our eye line. We've lost a little bit of height there, so let's edit that. Add another block's worth of height. And there we go. Okay, so that's looking all right. Do we have any windows in our tile set here? We do. We have a few. Okay, so let's go with kind of an old sort of 1950s kind of thing. It's equidistant, but it doesn't feel quite right. So let's move that over by... I'll get rid of that as well. Let's move that over by 1. Yeah, okay, so that's technically not equidistant, but it feels better with the lining up of that. Okay, now that we've got that in place, we've got a general idea of what our layout's going to be. It's a very busy looking office. CEO's office, conference room, cafeteria, and then that would lead out into the hallway and the other stuff. So this would be like the secretary's pool. In which case I think we would remove some of these like that. Oops. Go for that one. Okay, we'll remove some of those. Maybe move these up just one. So let's remove these. Okay, that feels a little bit better spaced out. Okay, and now we're happy enough with the layout. Let's go back over the flooring. The cafeteria area, that works fine, that floor, but it certainly is no good for a CEO's office. So let's see. We could go for parquet flooring. If we wanted to, we could go for plush carpet the whole way. Let's see what plush carpet would look like. Okay. Yeah, that feels a little bit better. That feels more like a mogul. And then we'll take this one because it's got the shadow and we place it up against the walls just to make that look extra nice. And then we take the shadow tool and we continue the shadow up the walls just so that it looks a little bit more kind of even. Okay, with that done, that's nice. That's not too bad. I like the cafeteria stuff. We don't really need to place any shadows there because we wouldn't see it underneath that lot. How about the conference room? Conference room feels like it would have carpet, but not great carpet to me. So let's try, whoops, Control Z to undo, or press this button up here. Let's try this carpeting. That feels like decent carpeting, right? That feels accurate. Okay, and this boss guy, to me, doesn't really, looking at the difference in the carpet and whatnot, it doesn't really feel like he's the kind of guy who'd have an open door policy. So let's see. Do we have a better door? No, that's not very nice, is it? That's a good door. Doesn't really match the wall, but let's see if we can muck around with that. So that door suits... Well, that's a bit too lush, isn't it? It's Elixirs. Can you do like light shining into a room? Yes, you can. You can indeed. Let me just... it's a little ostentatious, but maybe. I'll give it a try. Okay. And then, where was it? It was under D, wasn't it? There we go. And then we take the sides. All right, it's looking okay. We'll fiddle with that later. Re-add the shadow because we mucked around with that. Bingo, bango. Okay, so yes, light shining into a room can be done in two separate ways. Either you can take the tile sets that you're using, especially if they have free space like it does in here. You can see that I use some of the free space on this particular tile set to make the sleeping graphic, but you can take any of these free spaces here, and you can add literal sort of partially translucent lighting effects that go over there. You can do that in Photoshop or GIMP or whatever your image editing program is. So you can do it that way. You can also use directional lighting. Now I'm using Terax lighting, but there is also Khan lighting. Now Khan lighting is really, really good because you can set it up as to bounce off walls, basically. So with Terax lighting, if I put a light here, it would just create a circle of light. So the light would overlap this and it would overlap here. I use Terax because I generally like it better. But with Khan's lighting, if I place the light source there, there would be no light anywhere here. It would literally stop where it detects a wall tile, and it would just emit anywhere where it did not detect a, well, sort of a border tile, shall we say, rather than a wall tile. So you could put a light source, say here, make it semicircular, or circular even, and it would bounce off this, and it would just create a couple of semicircular bits of lighting around there. Doable, definitely doable. I don't go for that personally. I go for the slightly less realistic stuff because I find that the sort of the almost 3D professional levels of lighting look kind of weird with pixel stuff. But we can certainly do it. In our game, let's actually create this. So we'd create the starting position of the player here. Used to be here, but we just moved him here. Now we're going to take some of the stuff. You can see I've got 3 events here, and we're just going to snag these just very quickly. Yeah, so this is going to be my initial light level event. It's set to auto run and then erase itself when it's finished. So this we copy, we take it to the office building, and we paste it. You don't have to paste it anywhere in particular. I just like pasting it always in the top left corner of whatever map I've designed. That way I always know where to look for these things. The second one is just a general thing for setting up the HUD, so we might as well grab that as well. It's not super urgent for this test, but... And you can see in here we're going to change the variable that holds map name from your crappy flat to... trying to highlight that, but mouse isn't. Super awesome office. Okay, so that should appear up in the top left-hand side when we turn on the game. And finally, what's this one do? I forget. Ah, yes, this sets the day-night in the overall UI as well. So we're just going to grab that. Okay. This looks like a map straight out of AZL, A Zombie's Life. I've never played it, but cool. And even if it kind of reminds you of Hotline Miami, yeah, okay, I can see that actually, yeah. So if we turn this on now, and we go in, we're going to appear in here, and you can see it's quite dark, but we've got super awesome office. I'm just going to move this a little bit. We've got super awesome office and night as registered. So it's dark, it's a little bit gloomy, it's not very nice, so let's add some lighting. Now there's a bunch of lighting effects that you can go for. I think we're going to go for this. So the way that the Terex lighting works is you put the light effect up in the note value. So this is what I'm using for this particular light. I'm using fire, which means it's going to flicker ever so slightly because it's an exposed bulb. 250, which is kind of the strength of it, and then the hexagon code for the color. So FFB1, which means it's almost white but not quite. And then 2 is the switch, and we use that because we're going to turn the light. In this case, we turn the light on and off. You see, you can... turn it off here, see. So if you say plugin command light on 2, it'll find whatever you've designated as 2, and it will activate this lighting effect. So what we're going to do is we're just going to snag this particular part. There we go. Take it to the office, and let's try putting the event here. We'll double check, double paste. We'll put it above the character. We'll paste it. It's going to be from the outside. Let's say there's a neon light outside, so we're going to go for pure white. Keep it with the fire and 250. A little bit of flickering is always nice. Human eye generally doesn't see light as a solid sort of color, and we will duplicate it over there. So now, hopefully, when we activate the game and we jump in, there we go. So you can see the light. Now, it's fire, so it is flickering. Maybe you don't want that flickering. Maybe you want solid light, in which case you can change it appropriately. I quite like the flickering light, especially in a game, that's moody like this. It gives it the whole feeling of kind of instability. But if you don't like that, the plugin is here, so Terex lighting, and you can see the various options here. You can add brightness and direction on this one. I haven't had a great deal of luck, but you can muck around with that. So here's all the various details, all the help stuff. It's nice. It's very, very in-depth. Very, very helpful. So let's see. Light radius. Yeah, so you got the light, you got the radius, blah, blah, blah. So I think we'll literally just go for light rather than fire. We just want a standard light. So let's change fire. Please highlight correctly. Thank you. Change fire to light. And this should just give us a nice solid 250 radius FF light. So here we go again. And there we go. So now that it's no longer fire, you can see the light's no longer flickering. Instead, we've got this really pleasant, solid light. And even though technically it is overlapping the outside, it doesn't actually look so bad. I think it looks fine, personally speaking. And there's a fun little sort of overlap of light there as well. So yeah, that's like the second way that you can get light to appear in the game. Alrighty, now let's make it so that we can move around. Generally, you don't want to reinvent the wheel, so if you've already created something that does something, just copy it, basically. No point in recreating all these things over and over and over again. So paste it, make sure to redirect it. So if we're outside, we want to be teleported inside with the door open noise, which is it. You can change the volume, you can change the pitch, and you can change whether it appears more to the left or more to the right, which is very, very good for horror movies. No, don't discard changes. Let's grab this for the bottom, since it's basically exactly the same effect. We're just changing where it's being transferred to. So office building, up that way. Good, and now we should be able to move around in the office as well. All right, so we still got the lights, everything's working, and bingo. So now we can actually move around. And because we're using an existing tile set, you can see I'm trying to go north. It won't let me go north, all this kind of stuff. Mist, you should eat breakfast, but this is too good. I'm glad you're enjoying it. And we can go right back into the office as well. So in and out with that nice little door ka-chak effect, which is awesome. All right, so now that we've got this general, very, very rough sort of thing, reminds you of an SNES RPG games, Alexis. Yes, that's kind of the strength of RPG Maker, is that it kind of evokes the old sort of SNES nostalgia, whilst at the same time bringing in a lot of modern effects, like the proper lighting, the volumetric lighting. All right, so yes, now that we've got this in place, let's start making it all look a little bit more lived in. So I'm happy enough with the flooring, honestly, although I think we'll pull the carpeting out that way. Yeah, I like that a little bit better, and we will use, there we go, just to create a nice little shadow effect. That just makes it look better. And shadow up the wall, shadow up the wall, shadow up the wall, shadow up the wall. Good. Good, 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 good. Okay, so let's put some tables in here. Those don't really work, do they? Part of the fun of something like this, and part of the difficulty as well, is finding just exactly what you're looking for. So, well, let's try this one. Don't use the shadow tool. Yeah, that doesn't look too bad to me. Do we want it one higher, or is that too much? That feels like too much. That feels like too much. Okay, so that's good. Elixis, you don't like how the door frame looks going into the right room. This one, oh yes, yes, good catch. Yeah, it's not supposed to look like that. Ideally, it shouldn't ever really look like this. This is kind of sort of lazy on my part. What you can do, of course, is you can actually divide it up like that. Let's grab these. And then have some sort of designator graphic on here indicating that you're allowed to go in. So in this case, you know, perhaps we'd do that just to show that if you stand there and move forward, you know, you'll get the chick inside. Generally speaking, though, yeah, it shouldn't do what it's doing here. It should do what it does here. There should be nice delineations and things like that. Same sort of thing here. A little delineation, just a little, which we can work in, but in fact, you know what? Screw it. Let's work it in. So let's do this, and we'll just erase the bottom bit there. And then do the same thing there, grab that, and there we go. So again, it's not ideal, but it's looking better than it was. Okay. So yeah, I mean, this isn't a map that I would be happy putting in a game necessarily. It doesn't look terrible, but it doesn't look, it's not perfect either, not by any stretch of the imagination. But for a quick example, if you're going to do this properly, obviously you'd be taking, you know, a long time over every single map, and we don't want to really dwell too much on each individual one. Ooh. Still, it's certainly good enough for our purposes. All right, so now that we've got the table in place, and I like the mahogany better than I like this one, let's just take a quick look at what that would look like. That's okay, but I think a guy who has an office like this is going to kind of demand mahogany if he's going to be holding meetings. That being said, I've read a lot of Woodhouse recently, so maybe I'm just sort of being influenced by that. Looks like you like it now. Good, good. Excellent. All right, so let's start putting some furniture in here. There's some gray chairs, which would work okay. We don't really want these. The green padding, you know, I don't ever see that actually being a thing. What I would like is some brown chairs. These will work. Okay. So we take these chairs, Let's do this one up here and down there. Don't go for... Yeah, that works. Okay. Generally speaking, don't make things symmetrical. Things in real life are not symmetrical, and people's eyes tend to sort of think, oh, that looks weird, without necessarily knowing why it looks weird, but your eye will know what is off. Now, normally, in this situation, if I was going to do this properly, I'd have a separate, I'd actually create a graphic that would go here, be like a PowerPoint thing or something like that. We don't really have that. So instead, let's just say that they're using television, shall we? Now, this indicates a potential issue with this. The map isn't, it's not quite right. It's not quite... centered. Ideally, you'd want that centered, but we can kind of offset how awkward that looks, perhaps by putting something next to it. What should we put next to it? Potted plant? Is it likely they'd have a potted plant in there? Maybe. Yeah, maybe. Kind of the CEO's idea of how, making the place look a little bit more friendly and green, perhaps. Okay, and he, of course, would obviously have a couple of potted plants in there. Let's just take the top. And so, yeah, okay. Looking a bit jungly, but we'll muck around with that later. Okay, so that's looking a little bit better. Now, let's say they've been going through some rough patches recently, so it's not perhaps as clean as it could be. So we'll add a couple of little dirt smudges there. All right, that's okay for that. And then let's put some stuff on top of the thing. I so badly want to put a gun there and just make it into a really weird office, but it's probably not a good idea. Oh, and we'll put a clock there because every conference room has a clock so that everybody can watch the time. Vicon, still need chairs in the office, right? Yes, we're not done down here. We're just fiddling around with the conference room at the moment. We're going to deal with this, and then we're going to tidy up this, and then deal with the office, and then do a final sweep just to make sure that everything actually does flow together. Since this is a room, since this office has a CEO's quarters, we can kind of assume that all of the design decisions for decorating stuff will come from this guy. And since we've given this guy a plush red carpet and some nice wallpaper and so on and so forth, but the rest of the place is looking a little bit scrappy, we can tell that he likes nice things, but he's not willing to pay too much for them. So what we're looking for is kind of mock high-end sort of feel to it. The kind of thing where you'd walk in and go, well, it's not terrible, but it could be better. It's Alexis file cabinets. Yes, file cabinets. I have a feeling we could maybe put them there. Yeah, we could put some file cabinets there, maybe. Now, in a bigger office, and again, if I was going to do this map properly, what I'd probably do is I'd demolish this guy's office, and I'd have a little sort of antechamber here for his secretary, and then put his office. That would be more fun. And then we could put all the file cabinets in there. But, yeah, we can figure out a way where to put them here, too. Nipu Nipu, a bathroom. Yeah, we could add a bathroom. Let's add a bathroom. Now, do we want it level with that? Probably not, actually. Let's make the bathroom a little off-center. Because, yeah, that feels a little bit better. And then we'll put a bathroom there. It's going to be unisex. Because, you know, this is the 21st century, and also he's cheap. So yeah, we'll add a little bathroom there. It's quite a big bathroom, actually. But nah, screw it. He's got at least 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 4 employees, so he probably needs that one. Miss Hero's only one bathroom in the whole building on the bottom floor. Yeah, that would suck. Nitro, this costs money, right? Yes, it does, but not a hell of a lot. It costs... Oh, Jesus, wait a second. £60? That doesn't seem right. Anyway. They generally have bargains. I do not remember paying £60 for RPG Maker MV. But yeah, they generally have like special deals and sales and things going on. I don't think there's been a single Steam sale so far where RPG Maker has not been on sale. So if 60 quid's not your bag and you don't feel like torrenting it, then just wait for one of the sales. Nipu, you don't know how office buildings work. It depends on the office building. I feel like this guy's fairly self-contained. I feel like this is just one office, and he's just rented this space on a single floor. But yeah, I mean, I did actually work in an office building once where it was like 8 to 10 stories, and there was literally one bathroom, and it was actually on, I think, the 2nd floor. It was so weird. Nitro, my bad is, gotta go, like the video. Okay, well, thanks for stopping by. Nipa Nipa would be a great workout, though. Yeah, true. Missed, I must have got it on sale. I guess so. Yeah. Weird. Weird. I may have been gifted it. I may have won it in a thing. I'm not sure. Sometimes people give me things. Anyway, that's fine. You know what? I'm looking at this, though, now, and I'm thinking this just looks a little bit too much like a cancerous growth. So you know what? He's super cheap. And yeah, he's going to insist that everybody uses the communal toilets that are provided by the landlord of the block of flats. That just feels nicer to me. Not necessarily realistic, but never sacrifice what feels pleasant to play in for what is actually realistic. Go for realism, but not at the cost of aesthetics or playability. Okay, so yes. Now, filing cabinets was Alexis's idea. I don't know if this tile set has any actual filing cabinets. Has a bath with a rubber ducky in it. But yeah, I don't think it has filing cabinets in a traditional sense. So we will just not have filing cabinets. Again, you know, and a real office would, but screw it. Hashtag sponsored. I wish. Yeah. I wish people paid me money for this. Okay, so that's looking all right, but we do need some stuff on it. What do we want to put on it? We could, no, I don't want to put those on. That's kind of mechanical. We could put some boxes on it and pretend that they're kind of sorting out inventory. That's a possibility. What else would work? What else would work? None of this really. That's kind of trash. You don't want that on there. We could put blood on it and just have the whole thing be completely torn apart by zombies. Let's go for boxes. Let's pretend that they're doing inventory. Where was it? There it was. So let's pile some boxes up. What do we want to go for? Let's go for some big boxes. No, that doesn't quite work quite rightly there, does it? How about there? Not really. Not really. How about here? Oops. Just that one. Yeah, it's a bit too close. Let's try some of this. That's not terrible. That's not terrible. Add some more boxes there. Maybe a box there. Looks like the people on this side are doing most of the work. So let's put one over there. Okay, so right, it looks like they're moving in, they're dealing with inventory, they're unpacking maybe some computers and stuff. With that in mind, let's take one of the computers off. There we go. All right, so they haven't quite unpacked that one yet. Nipa Nipa trash bin. Yeah, why not? Okay, so this is kind of trash binny. So let's maybe there. It doesn't look too bad there. Yeah, let's keep that there for now. All right, let's do that. Let's pretend that somebody is testing the computer, so it'd always be the closest one, and let's give them a little pen and stuff there so they can make notes on things. Let's take away that guy's keyboard, maybe. Not so happy with that, actually. Not quite so happy with that. So let's give him his keyboard back. Missed OMG trash bin. I don't know why that's so thrilling for you, but okay. And let's put some boxes there. They've just unpacked that one. They've just unpacked this one as well, but they haven't set it up yet. Yeah, that feels right. Let's give this guy... no, then that's kind of balancing out a bit too much. Let's give that guy maybe a box as well. Maybe not. This guy a box. That looks okay. That looks all right. Not ideal, but all right. Do we want to give anybody a chair? Does that feel like it adds or detracts from the scene? I can't decide, so we'll come back to it later. Vicon, maybe put the still missing computer on the table as well. Good plan. Let's try putting that there. So, it's a good plan, but unfortunately it's got the background of the desk, so we would need to edit that. That being said, maybe we can. So this is C. This will be a good example of stuff. So we're using the interior. C is tile C, PHC, office and facility. So let's open up our documents, work, we're doing the live stream thing, image, tile sets, okay. T for tile, and we're looking at tile C, where are we? Tile C, here we are, this one. Okay, so here we are. This is the one that we want, and we want to separate that out. Now, we should be able to put the... Where was my grid? There it is. Okay, so I set this grid up ages ago. It's the size of each of the things. So we can check here if there's any sort of vacant spaces on this particular tile set. Unfortunately not, but is there anything that we're not using on this tile set that we could switch out for a single computer? Probably one of these things. I don't even know what these things are, these little glowy things, honestly. So let's remove some of these. One hit. Okay, what game is this? It's my game that I'm currently pottering around with. It doesn't have a name at the moment. I don't really know where I'm going with it, so I haven't given it a name yet. Mr. MG's doing it. He's doing the custom assets. Okay, a Nightbot is warning you to stop spamming caps. Don't worry about it. I don't know why he's doing that, but whatever. Okay, so let's take these, let's take it, and we'll move it up here. I don't know what the hell this thing is, so we're just going to overwrite it. So plug that in there. That's where that's supposed to go. Cut that. Take that layer. Delete whatever's in it. Bingo, bango. Merge those layers down. Get the eraser, switch it to block tool, zoom all the way in. And we start erasing, start erasing around the key, the computer. Now, I think we want to keep the shadow, but it's the wrong color, actually. So no, we won't. We'll just go for flat. There we go. Boom, 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 boom. You can also do this with the lasso tool if you want to. There we go. All right. Yeah, that should be okay. Let's take a look. He deleted all the messages too, did he? Fair enough. Oh, that Nightbot is really on the ball. Yeah, that looks okay. That looks decent. Let's... I don't want it quite that far down. Whoopsie daisy. I want it a little bit off the center almost. So holding down Control, using the arrow keys, and we're just going to move that up a couple, and there we go. So we just save that, just Control S, and when we come in, if we change the interface kind of thing here, hopefully we should see, yep, bingo, there it is. So there's our new asset now. So now we can take that and let's, where do we want to put it? That's not terrible. That's not terrible. We'll put it there for now. We can muck around with that later. We could also put it onto like two separate things so that it's a little bit more centered if we wanted to, but that will do for the moment. Now, I think we've accidentally deleted, yeah, we deleted the sort of shadowy flooring, so let's put that back. Okay, this is beginning to look a little bit better. Let's put some dirt, especially where people are moving around. So door, it's been busy there, so some dirt there. It's been busy there, so some dirt there. And what else? Let's maybe, I was going to put some schmutz on the wall, but I think it probably wouldn't, it wouldn't stand for schmutz on the wall. So let's put some motivational posters up on the wall if we can. Not that one, it's too long. This one, would that count? Yeah, maybe. Again, if we're doing this properly, I'd edit that to make it look more like a poster. Maybe make one that goes over all 4 of these, but kind of centered better with a little kitten hanging onto it saying hang in there. But for the purposes of this demo, that works out fine. Vicon, can you add a calendar to the game? As in like a variable? Yes, it's actually built into the plugin. Which I'm using, which is orange. Where the hell is it? Here we are. I'm not using that particular plugin in here. But yes, I could open up a separate game that I also run, muck around with, and I can show you that. There is actually day-night cycle. So if we just quickly save this one, we can open up... Now, I think it was my old Kikudin thing. Maybe. No. Different art. Nah, that's not the right one. Is it this one? This one looks more familiar. Yeah, okay. So if I open up this... Boop. Make sure the starting position is actually where I want it to be. There we go, good. All right, so if I open up this one... Okay, so that's not resizing correctly. Okay, but you can see up here how it's got time, it's got date, and the time itself will actually carry on, and you can muck around with that as well. So the lighting, the overall lighting can actually fade in or fade out depending on the particular time of day, and you can plug all that in as well if you want to. So yes, you can have a proper calendar in the game very, very easily. It just requires a plugin. I use the orange time plugin because it plugs into a lot of other stuff. Infinity, I like how when you said motivational, the mouse cursor pointed to the guns. Well, there's little more motivational than being shot at. So yes, motivational poster, let's put a gun up on the wall. Okay, so that's looking all right. I would want some more stuff. You'd probably want some people hanging around. Maybe we do actually want a chair, but we want it side on, not front on. So maybe... Whoops, that doesn't work. These might be a bit too big. No, actually that looks all right. We'll keep that chair there. The reminders there. Mist, one of these days you should make an SMT game knockoff and call it Arc Quest, Arc of the Arc during the story arc about Arc. Yes, I heard you like some Arc, so I put some Arc in your Arc. Man, yeah, I would love to make an SMT style game without being sued. I do enjoy it so much. And honestly, I mean, RPG Maker's default battle system is basically SMT's battle system, in that you don't see your characters, but you see others flat on. All right, so we're done with that. Let's move into the cafeteria now. So we want... Now, do we want that with a tablecloth? Probably not. It looks a little too fancy. If it was coming down the 4 corners, that would be okay. But it's not, so let's... do that. That looks all right. Chair goes there. Let's see about putting that chair there. That's not terrible. That's not bad. Boom, 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 boom. And then we put another motivational poster up there. And let's put a switch. A couple of switches there as well. Power switches. There we go. It just feels right to me. Now, do we want the sink full of water? Probably not, but let's turn the microwave on. There we go. No ovens, there just wouldn't be one. You'd have the microwave instead. So I think that's all right. We don't want toaster, but we'll have Janice from marketing has brought in some flowers to make everything look nice. So it's a very busy cafeteria, but then these places generally are. Yeah, that all feels all right. Miss, I can't sue you if you don't use any of their demons or characters. Yeah, very true. I'd also want to put on my own twist on it, though. So that's looking decent. Let's see how it looks when we actually jump in and walk around it. Okay, so of course we're going to want some lighting in here as well. We're going to want some light coming off this computer. And we're going to want some overhead lights, maybe 2. Maybe 1 here, 1 there, and then a big central one in the middle of that room, and then another one in the middle of here. So, I keep moving that badly. So let's add some lighting. Now we already have overhead lighting created because I've already built it in for these, you know, when you switch this light switch on and so on and so forth. So now I just have to remember where the hell I put the lighting. Ah, here we are. So that'll work for most of it, I think. That's just nice standard lighting. So let's, let's create a new thing. Above players, paste. 150, we'll try it at 150 and we'll see how that works. We're going to need it larger for the conference room though. So let's up that to 250. This is kind of the radius and the strength, and we'll put another one in there. Okay. And we have a flickering TV light as well. So let's take that and we will reapply that effect here to our computer. Alrighty then. Let's take a look and see how that goes. There we go. Alright. Okay, so the lighting's working quite nicely. You can see a bit of flicker coming off that computer screen. It's not very big. So given that we've got that flicker coming off the computer screen, we may want to turn the lights off in this main room so that just looks a little bit more atmospheric. This looks okay. Probably want to increase that a little bit more or recenter it down onto the corner of the table. And the conference room looks fine, I think. That looks fine for lighting. So let's try removing these lights to make the computer one pop, and we'll move this light down here. And let's see how that looks. Move this again so that everyone can see it. Okay, so that looks a little bit more atmospheric, a little bit creepier. And the lighting's working fine there. And I think the lighting's working okay here. We might want to increase it a little bit because the fridge is a little bit cast into shadow, but otherwise I'm fairly happy with that. So let's take this and we'll change it from 150 to 200. Alexius, you're back. Your kiddos needed sustenance. Ah, well. I was going to make a joke about it, but no, they actually do. They actually do need sustenance, so. Okay, so here we are. You'll have to rewatch the live stream later. Well, that's fine. It's more advertising revenue for me. Okay, so I think that's looking fine. We could increase the light here a little bit more, but I don't think it's worth killing ourselves over. We could add a tiny little light source to this microwave if we wanted to, in the same way as we've added a little flickery thing here. Depends on how creepy we want to make this whole place. We could turn all the lights off and just have this computer flickering and that microwave flickering if we wanted to go for the creepy look. But I think it's alright the way it is for now. Nipa, gonna need some flicker for the TV as well. Yes, if we're keeping the TV on, then we would definitely put some flicker on there. We may turn the TV off, though. We don't want too much flicker, because if you have flicker in this room, flicker in this room, flicker in this room, then it begins to feel like we're just inventing things to flicker. So I think we'll turn the TV off for the moment, and we'll have it so that the player can turn the TV on and then make the flicker appear. And I'll actually show how that's going to be done. So, first of all, let's take the TV flicker effect. So we like this one here. This was a good TV flicker, so I think it'll work for the office building. So we're just going to keep doing that. All right, so TV right. This is just to help me out later on if we're ever calling an event. And we'll do that. So fire to make it flicker. 100 to give it a 100 radius and power. Hexacode all Fs to make it pure white. And 1, this is the number of this particular event. So when we activate light 1, everything that has 1 on it is going to be activated. And then we copy that and we paste it over here and we call this TV left. And we're going to keep it to 1 because if this side of the TV turns on, we always want this side of the TV to turn on as well. Okay. Vicon, if you wanted to be creepy, flick at the table on the table. TV on the table. Yeah, if we're going to be really creepy, then we could have it. And I may actually do this. When we approach this computer, it turns on. Okay, maybe let's do that. Remind me to do that after we've done this, because that would be actually pretty fun and creepy. Alexis, question, can you make objects move? For example, bookshelf slides over, revealing secret passageway. Yes, very, very easily. Very, very easily. So remind me about that, and I'll do that as well once we've just fiddled around with this. So first things first, actually, I need to know how close I can get to this TV, so I know where to have the activation events. So if I can walk all the way up to it, which I can, okay, so the activation event is going to have to be on the TV itself, which is absolutely fine. So I think what we're going to do here, the TV activation, yeah, it's like a whole 4 thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to have this same as character, so that when we're standing next to it, we can face it and activate it. Same here. Okay, and then we're going to add 2 new events up here and up here. All right, so what we're going to do is whenever we touch, whenever we use the action button on this thing, is going to activate a switch. So we activate switch, let's say 41 TV on. Okay. So touching this button is going to activate TV on. And we'll copy that. Oops, there we go. And we'll paste it over here so that whichever one we touch, it'll turn the TV on. Boom, 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 boom. Missed. You have to go in 30 minutes. No. That would be sad for all involved. Okay, so when we activate this, we're going to turn the TV on, and we're also going to turn the light on. Now, again, we've already done a plugin thing for that, so let's do that here. We just copy this, just makes life easier. So copy and paste, light on, and not 1, light on, not 2 rather, light on 1. So again, copy and paste that over here. Okay, so when we turn the light on 1, the TV switch goes on, so we're going to create a new event page. If, that's what the tick is, if TV on is activated, change this image to our tile set C, was it, or B? B. It's B. Okay, so change this particular one to this tile set picture. Okay, and then we're going to copy that event page, and we're going to paste the event page here, and we'll change the graphic to that. There we go. And then this one up here, if TV is on, then show this. Where are we? That's not right. Where are you hiding from me? I always lose these things. There we are. Turn this one on. And same up here. If the switch is on, then make this graphic into this. Okay. So, with that question, I feel like you want to make a D&D sim. Ooh, could be. D&D sims are always fun too. All right, now what should hopefully happen, and it almost never works the first time around, you've always made some sort of coding error, but what should hopefully happen now is that we're going to walk up, we're going to face this television. Now, as soon as I press the enter button, the television lights should turn on, and it should start flickering. Fingers crossed. Oh, booyah, it works. There we go. So that's how that works. Now, what we can also do is we can also set it to turn itself off. So when the TV is on, below characters, action touch, control switch, turn the TV on switch to off, and copy that, paste that, light off 1. So we copy both of those, control C, take them over here, second page, paste them in, and now we should be able to turn the TV on and off at will. So let's give that a try. Again, I'll be very surprised if this all works flawlessly the first time around, but you never know. So TV on, and it's beginning to flicker, 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 lovely, lovely, and TV off. Ah, it doesn't work. I think possibly because we've set it to below character. Let me just check. Yes, because the priority is below character, it's not going to work. It needs to be same as characters. So there we go. And now it should work. And also, while I'm thinking about it, I'm going to put this above characters. And that way it'll appear above everything, because I think I noticed a little bit of unnecessary overlap earlier. There we go. Bum, 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 bum. All right, so TV on, and that does look better. There isn't that ugly gray gap up at the top anymore. And TV off. Bingo. There we go. All right, so easy peasy. And you can tie all kinds of other things in there as well. All right, so now, it's like says you're going to have so much fun with this. You're going to try to wait to try it later. Well, I hope you enjoy it. Okay, so actually what I'm going to do very, very quickly then, just for Alexis, is to show a moving object. So let's, you wanted, for example, a bookshelf that would move. Okay, so what we're going to do is let's pretend the way out actually is blocked by a bookshelf. That's maybe a bit complicated. You know what? This is just going to be a very, very quick test, so I'm just going to show you something really, really simple. Let's go for something that doesn't have much movement. I don't know. Let's go for a clock that you kind of chase around. So we're going to create an event up here. Tile set B. Where's the clock? There's the clock. Okay. Let's see. All right, so same as characters, not that it really matters. Because you can't actually walk onto this tile to get next to that clock, we're going to create this as the activator. So we're going to name this clock, surprisingly. And then here, we're going to have a same as characters, trigger on action. And as soon as we touch it, it's going to, let's say we're going to do show text, face, Lance human before he gets transformed. Down at the bottom, background window, and let me just see. I forget the exact coding for his speech now, so we're just going to copy that. Because of the way that I operate the stuff, it's a bit complicated. So for people's edification, this \C6 means use color 6, which it depends on what window skin you're using. And then \N1 means take the name of the actor in the first slot. And then C0 means reset the color back to default. BR to force a new line. This is literally just to get his name to display in a particular color. So let's do that. I want to go fly, little clock. Little Kvlok is secretly Russian. Okay, and now what we do here is we go for movement. So set movement route. Up here, instead of player, we find clock. There it is, clock. And we say clock, wait for completion, move left. Boom. Now what will happen, hopefully, if we set this, let's set this actually above characters so it doesn't get any pathing issues. Okay, so now what should happen, hopefully, is if I stand underneath the clock and I press the enter button, the clock should move to the left. Fly, little clock! And it doesn't because it's got a pathing issue. So what we'll do instead is here we set, because the wall is blocking it from moving, we're going to set it to being able to move through. So as you can see from tooltip, it makes it possible to move through impassable tiles and characters. So we turn through on, move it left, and then just turn through off just to tidy things up. Now it should work. Move. Missed. Say some gangster is dissing your fly girl. What? Okay. Some gangster's dissing my fly girl. Okay, so now hopefully fly little clock, and there it goes. You see the clock has moved over to the left. And you can have very, very complex movement patterns as well. You can set it to follow your character. We can do that. So if we say through, on, repeat movements, and then turn towards, move towards player. There we go. So we can actually have the clock follow us if we want to. So let's do that. It doesn't have to be a clock, obviously. You can have this with an actual person. So we say, fly, little clock. Oh no, the clock is flying towards me. We told it to wait for completion, unfortunately, so I can't move. So we turn off wait for completion so that we can carry on doing stuff while it's doing stuff. And what this should do now is work properly. Again, these things never work exactly the very first time. We've always missed something. There you go, see? So the clock's actually following us around now. Oh no, the clock is after us. Ah, time, my constant nemesis. No. Becoming chronophobic. And if we move the clock down there and we turned it into a person, let's say this lovely looking lady here. Because she's same as and action, we can, as soon as we activate her, don't wait for completion, but do repeat movement through on just to stop her from getting stuck and move towards player. Walking is allowed, so on and so forth. So now, once we talk to this girl, she should follow us around. Oops. Yes, okay. Why has that not worked, actually? Let's turn off that through, just to be on the safe side. Same as character's action button now. That's interesting, because it hasn't... Oh, player, right. This event. Idiot. Okay, so I was trying to make the player move, and that's obviously stupid. So let's try this with the proper event signatures. Okay, and as you can see, she's starting to follow us around. Yay! Pretty girls chasing me. That's much better than time. And so on and so forth. And you can put in very, very complicated movement routes as well. So all of these things, woo, which is pretty awesome. Okay. Good. All right. So now Vicon had the idea of making this computer screen turn on when we got close to it. Now, I'm pretty sure I have the plugins for that. Let me just double check that, though. It's a MOG plugin. Event indicators. It should be okay. Should be okay. But I'm not sure if the event indicator is the detector or not. No, this is a different kind of thing. Okay, so we need a different plugin for that. To remind me, we'll open up my other game because I can't off the top of my head remember what the name of the plugin is. So I'm just going to open up this one very, very quickly because I have the plugin attached here. See, it's the event text. And you can... Well, actually, no, it's not the event text, is it? It's... yeah, event sensor. That was the one, event sensor. So we need... I think it's literally just called event sensor, but I'm not 100% on that. That's all battle stuff. We don't need that. There it is. Yeah, okay, so it's MOG event sensor. It's the one that we want. Okay. So we just reopen the live stream project. Okay. Now, go into the plugins. We bring up this. We're looking for MOG event sensor. There it is. Okay, self-switch key, D, good, okay. And okay. All right. So if we go into here and we plug in the event sensor 4, it means that as long as you're within 4 tiles, it should be able to detect. All right, so we'll do a parallel process. Now, I'm not 100% sure. Okay, yeah. All right, so basically, we're going to run the parallel process on this. It's not going to do anything. When we get close to it, it's going to activate self-switch D. So we go down here, and we're just going to, just to make sure that it works, we're just going to go very, very quickly like this, because we don't want to go through all the trouble of setting up the graphics and stuff, only to find that it's not going to function. So let's just make sure this actually works. Boom. Nice world. Well, it's okay. All right, so that unfortunately hasn't worked. As you can see, the thing isn't properly detecting. Alexa, stream lag is real. Is it? It shouldn't be. Pretty sure everything is off that needs to be off. Worrying. Is everybody else having stream lag or not? If it is, if they are, I can try turning off some of this other stuff. Lag is super real. Okay, that's not good. All right, I don't think there's anything I can turn off, unfortunately. I'll turn off Chrome for now. There we go. I've shown everybody everything that needs to be shown. Turn off that. Not that's going to make any real difference. Hopefully that'll help out. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. I'll turn off Discord as well, just for now. I mean, it says that I'm coming through okay on the upload, but Well, let me try refreshing the page. Let me know if that makes any difference. Otherwise, yeah, I'm not 100% sure. Twitch lag. Okay. Well, hopefully resetting it'll help. Otherwise, try moving over to the YouTube, I guess. It's okay, it's like a 30-second thing? Okay. All right, well, hopefully this will be okay. What the hell is it doing? Yes. All right, so this isn't working for some reason. Oh, because it's action button, not parallel process. That's my bad. Okay. So now this hopefully works. El Malo McCoy, you're good, no lag. Okay, good. All right, so it looks like it may just be a Twitch thing. All right, good, good, good. Okay, so now hopefully... Shoot, still not working. Okay. This is annoying. Again, this is one of the problems with this sort of thing. You just got to really kind of figure out what the hell is going on with it. So, the idea is that when we get within a certain amount of space, the thing activates. Now, what may be happening is we may be using the wrong code. Let me just quickly double check, because I did actually get it off the old Lance game. So... let's try it with this new code. All right. Yeah, there's a difference in the colon. Now I'll give that a try. I'll give that a try. I'll just make sure the plugin's actually turned on, which it is. Missed his testing. The lag is like 9 seconds. Never mind. Okay, that's fine then. Alright, come on, come on, come on. Yay! Alright, so it's working now. Good. Okay, so you can see that as we got within 4 tiles worth, and it counts diagonally outwards as well, it actually worked. So, good. Excellent. We're back on track. Alrighty, so let's shrink the sensor down from 4 to, let's say, 3. See where that activates. We don't want it to be too far out, because we want it to be much more creepy. Well, it would be much more creepy if it activated when we got much closer to it. So, about there... still feels like it's a little too far, maybe. I think we're possibly overthinking it. Okay. You just refreshed, much better. Excellent. All right, so what we're going to do here is we're going to jump back into Photoshop, and we're going to create another version of this, but we're going to create it with its light on. So let's grab this one. There we go. And bring it up here. Okay. Hide that, select that, whatever the hell it is, erase it, go up here, turn that back on, and merge the 2 layers. Get your eraser tool or your marquee tool, pardon me, and just start chipping away. Okay, good. And then we delete all of that. Make sure that looks about right, which it kind of, whoops, kind of does, kind of doesn't actually. I think we need to erase this bottom bit. Or actually, no, what we need to do really is add this. So we take, no, that's not right. We go to the pencil tool, shrink that down a little bit with the square brackets. Whoops, it's a little off center because of the grid. And there we go. Okay, so... if we move this, I keep thinking it's on a separate layer and it's not. Okay, so that looks about right to me. So that's 1, 2, 3 pixels. Oops, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, okay, so that looks like it should work. So we save that, zoom out, make sure it looks okay. Yeah, that looks about right. Okay. Go back into the game, just quickly change things so that force refreshes basically this this tile set. And there we go, now we've got both of these. Alrighty. Alexis, you looks like you need to download Photoshop. I advise Photoshop if you're doing sort of like high-end image editing, because I don't just use it for this. I also deal with photographs and things like that. So I use Lightroom and Photoshop, and web design. I use it a lot for that kind of thing. If you're just going to be using it for pixel editing, there's like free pixel editing software suites out there that basically do this, so you don't need to spend so much money. You're not a fan of GIMP. I'm not a massive fan of GIMP either, I must admit. Mist, you always go to Game Character Hub Portfolio Edition instead of Photoshop. Yep, that also works. Yep. Media Bang is good too. I haven't actually heard of Media Bang, but yep. I mean, if it's just sprite editing, you can do it on Windows Paint perfectly easily. Okay, so now that we've got this sorted out, what we're going to do is, instead of the text, we're going to remove that, and we're going to make it so that the screen turns on. So we scroll down to tileset C, we select the tileset that we want, we make sure that it's above characters, which means it's going to appear above our baseline image. And we don't need it to be parallel anymore, it should just automatically happen. So boom and let's go. All right, boom. MS Paint is bad. You can't have the picture transparent. You can't have I thought the latest version of Microsoft Paint allowed for transparent backgrounds. I could be wrong. But yeah, I mean, there's a billion now. Okay, so bing, good. All right, so as we get away, it turns off. As we get close, it turns on. So bing, bing, bing. Very, very creepy. We can make that more creepy now by removing the light from here. Let's take the light value from here and go here. Now, because we don't want this permanently on, what we want to happen is we want it to only start flickering when the thing is activated. So we give it basically a switch number. We already have 1 on the television, so this one will be 2, and we apply that, and we're going to go over here, and we need to actually physically turn that on in the same way as we did here. So just copy that. And then we go to here, and we're going to do light on 2, and because we wanted to activate immediately, we're going to run parallel processing. And boom. Okay, so now when we approach the TV screen, or the computer screen, it should not only turn on, but we should actually see a flickering light effect. Missed. I might be thinking of 3D art, which is only for Windows 10. Maybe. Yeah, maybe. All right, so here we go, and boom. There we are. So the thing turns on, and it starts flickering. We step away. Oh, and yeah, we're going to need to turn that off again, aren't we? So we set this to parallel processing. We paste this, and we do light on. We do light off, rather, 2. There we go. Okay. So hopefully this will work. If not, we'll have to get a little bit more complex. The parallel processing might mess it up. Okay, yeah, so the parallel processing unfortunately messes it a little bit up, so what we're going to have to do instead is we're going to have to turn this back to action, turn that off, turn that back to... actually, what we're going to do here is we're going to remove this. Okay, we're going to set this parallel process basically... now we have some options here actually, because this is going to try to set itself to D, isn't it? Yes, which would make it easy to turn it on, but it would be virtually impossible to turn it off automatically, unfortunately. What we might be able to do is, I'm going to, just out of curiosity, let's see if this works even without parallel processing. Where's the thing? There it is. All right, just out of curiosity, let's see if it actually turns the lights on without parallel processing. Because it might. I'm not sure how the plugin command works in relation to this. Okay, no, it doesn't. All right, so that's going to make the flicker tricky. Because if we do the parallel process, it won't turn itself off. Yeah. But the parallel process keeps it alive. So we can't unfortunately do anything about turning that off because we can't erase the event, which is what I would normally do, because then it would just literally erase the event. So I'm not sure if we can actually get this thing to flicker, which would be upset. Well, we can get it to flicker, but we wouldn't be able to turn it off automatically as soon as we walked a certain distance away, which would be fine, you know, force the player to turn it off manually. Mist, you gotta go. Okay, well, thanks for stopping by the live stream. Hope it worked out for you. Yes. So I think actually what we're going to have to do is we are going to have to do this a little bit more clumsily. So we'll have it turn on and start flickering, and it won't turn itself off again. You have to manually turn it off. So let's go with auto run, plugin command, turn light on, and then we control self switch, and we will turn self switch A on. Then we create a new page for self switch A, where actually we don't need any of that, where this will be on. Where are we going? Yep, and there we go. Boom. Okay. And that's going to be same as characters, and that's going to be above. Okay, so what's basically going to happen is it's going to sit in this normal state. It's going to look for us moving close. Once it does, it's going to activate self switch D, which is going to turn the light on, and then activate self switch A, which is going to flick it over to this page, and this page is literally just going to sit there with the screen on and hopefully the light flickering as well. So it won't turn off as soon as we leave the area. It'll force us to manually turn it off, but in a way, that's kind of creepy in its own right. So there we go. So now it turns on, and the light is there, and as we move away, it remains on. So that would force us to actually go down and turn that thing off manually. So if we... Whoops, if we remove this, oopsie daisy, right click, thank you. All right, if we remove this to allow ourselves to get at it, we select this again, make sure that this is at the same level as characters so that we can interact with it, and there's an action button. Let's take the speech again, plug that in here. On the final page, we can paste a thing where Lance is looking a little confused, let's say, or actually freaked out. Let's go with freaked out. And then we just have to say, that's weird. Now we can make this also delay. So if we want it to be like, that's weird, ... as in real time, we can just do backslash period, backslash period, backslash period. So that's going to make the dots go ... All right, so here we go. And now we should be able to approach the computer. It'll turn on automatically. Bing! And then we should be able to stand in front of it and activate it, wherever it is. There it is. So that's weird, ... And you can see the ... So that's weird, ... There we go. All right, so that works out really nicely. And then, of course, this still works. Turn this on, turn this off, and you can have all kinds of... So you can also have it make a little sound when it turns on. So if we wanted to make a sound, then we plug in here, we go here, play sound effect. What would be a good sound effect? No. Yeah, a bit too RPG-ish, honestly. Okay, it says it's a successful reconnection. I'm just going to quickly double check that we are in fact back. Give me a second. Good times. It's annoying as well. The internet's been very, very stable, and then of course it just chooses this exact moment to go down. Happy days. Yeah, okay, good. We seem to be back. Alrighty then. We are back. Excellent, excellent. My net stopped for a second. Yeah, the internet just went down for 5 seconds there, so that's problematic. Okay, anyway, as I was saying, the monitor turning on. So that kind of sounds like an old CRT monitor turning on. That kind of as the vacuum tubes kick in. So let's go with that. So now, when we approach the computer screen, not only will it turn on. Move that down. Not only will it turn on, but it'll make a little noise when it does so. So let's find out. There we go. Perfect. Little ideal. Excellent. Alrighty. Now, all of that's kind of distracting. Let's put her up here in the kitchen for the moment while we do the final stages of sorting out the office. So we're going to move our main character out of the way a little bit there just by left clicking and dragging. And let's get our office sorted out. So he's going to need a desk, like a proper desk. What do we have in the way of proper desks? Whoops. Nothing really jumps out at me. So again, this would be a situation where you'd kind of make your own or edit one given the resources that you have available to you. Since we're just going to have to kind of make this work ourselves, let's see what would be best for a desk. I mean, you know, normally you'd go for these and like recolor them so that it would look like the same sort of thing that they're running, but he gets mahogany. And even you put the woman in the kitchen. That was, yeah, that was incident. That was not supposed to be a social commentary. Really, anywhere I put her would be bad. I could either put her in the kitchen, I could put her in the secretarial pool, or I could put her in the conference room all by herself. There's really no good place to put her. I figured this way at least she'd be able to have the burrito or whatever's in the microwave. It's Alexis, moved over from Twitch. Twitch is quieter than YouTube. Yeah, I generally advise people to hang out on Twitch because that's just where I can do the raffles and it's generally more stable. But yeah, I'm aware that most people just come on to the YouTube because of the notifications and then just stay there. Okay, so let's give him a desk like the conference room one. I don't really like it though. I don't really like it. I really want to make my own desk, but that would take way too long. That would take way too long. So let's go for one that's okay. I just don't really like any of these. Not for a CEO's desk. Perhaps, just for fun, we can go with a bunch of broken stuff, make it look like his desk, or actually maybe his office is the last one to have everything moved into it. Let's do that. His office is going to be the last one that has everything moved into it. So it's going to just be basically boxes and things like that. Is that right? That doesn't feel right to me. That's not a very good bookcase. Yeah, not a big fan of that particular bookcase. The iron wrought shelving doesn't look so good to me, so let's just undo that. Alexis' problem on YouTube is you have to chat through your phone. You're watching Twitch on your PS4. On PS4, YouTube doesn't let you chat. Really? How weird of YouTube. Okay. Well, yeah, hopefully they'll fix that up. What was I doing? Yes, let's go with these bookshelves instead. So we'll go with this, and we'll take that one from there and that one from there because we don't want any blood. Now that I put it there, I'm thinking, do I really want a bookshelf in the CEO's office? I don't think he's smart enough for books. I have this idea in my head of this guy now, and he's not the sharpest tool in the drawer. Let's say he's kind of one of these preppy, modern CEOs. So he's going to have sitting areas. So couch there. Maybe, no, not there. That would be silly. Couch there. That would make sense, but doesn't look right. Couch there. Again, makes sense, but doesn't look right. Couch there. Maybe we can move that whole thing down, actually. So put the couch there. I don't really like that. So let's put the couch here. Put that couch there. That's feeling a little better to me. That's feeling a little bit more reasonable. And then we can have a little desk here. And since it'll be sideways, it doesn't really matter what kind of style we go for because it'll be fairly well masked. Elixir, as long as I don't put her under the CEO's desk. Or maybe. Well, if I decide to go in an adult direction with that, yeah, there we go. She looks too nice for that, though. Maybe her. She's got the whole tube top thing going on. And then she could storm in. What the hell's going on here? There's a fire, did you not know? And he could say, there's a fire in my pants. And then it would turn into a really, really bad Beam-style porno. I apologize to any underage people listening. And I would normally, you know what? I'm going to put this up here instead. In fact, I will just quickly erase this so there's no weirdness there. I'm going to put this here so that I can put that there. That looks better. I like that. I like that more. Okay, and then we're going to put the CEO's desk here. No, here. That looks better. And we'll give him that chair. Yeah, okay, so it's coming together. Nipu Nipu, isn't that the only way to get promotions nowadays? Yeah, male or female, frankly. Doesn't matter what gender you are. Get under that desk. And because he's still moving in, let's put some boxes there. Let's put a box here. That looks okay. Yeah, looks like they've been sitting down. They've been opening stuff up. All right, and I don't know. Kind of want to put filing cabinets, but I don't think the color works. So that's not quite right. In fact, actually, you know what? One of the things I want to do, I kind of want to put a waiting bench in there. It's a bit too close to the door, though, really, isn't it? If we had one more extra space over here, if we shunted all of that just over a little bit, then the waiting bench would work really well. It's not going to work so good there, though, unfortunately. So instead, let's put the fire thing there, because there's always a fire thing next to the cafeteria while I am thinking about it. And maybe put this vent. Yeah. And another one there. There we go. And then we can have another vent there. Okay, that's going to be a bit better. This is fun. Hope you do another one of these streams in the future. I mean, if there's any interest or demand in another one of these, I'd be very happy to. Absolutely. We could even turn it into a big communal thing, you know? Everybody gets involved. Everybody who's in the stream becomes a character, all that kind of stuff. And then we work on it a little bit more every stream and release it. And I'll upload it onto the Discord after every stream so that people can play what we've got so far. That would be fun. Okay, let's add a little bit of scruff, not too much scruff, but a little bit of scruff to the CEO's office. So just a little stain, maybe over there. It's looking a little too busy. Maybe over there in the corner. Move him out of the way just to see how that looks. Yeah, I think that'd be okay. And then we add that shadow there again, and the shadow there, because it's been erased as we make changes. Oh, actually, no, we can't really put it there, can we? Because then it's going to overlap that shadow. So let's maybe, what do we think about? No, because again, overlap the shadow. We can put it underneath that table leg. Can't really see it there. Let's see. I have to keep looking up to see where we are. Are you actually planning on planning to make a game, or is this just so that you can choose the program? This is kind of an extension of the game that I'm already currently working on, but at the moment it's just to show what you can do. Basically, we created this because people were asking about map design and what was possible with events and what wasn't. I would actually like to make a game, so if there is interest in this, and Alexis loves the idea apparently, then yeah, if we do another one of these streams, then what I think we will do is we will actually sit down and we will create a Arcanauts community game where I will actually build a game, put the plugins in. We'll start from scratch and I'll put the plugins in and we'll work on the game, and we'll actually make it featuring everybody in the stream, and you can choose who you want to be and all this kind of stuff. And then I will release, after the stream is done, I'll compile everything and then I'll upload it onto Discord so that everybody who wants to play what we've got so far can play it. El Malo McCoy, that sounds great. You want to be the bad guy? Well, with a name like El Malo, yeah, definitely bad guy. I see you as some sort of I see you as some sort of like Clint Eastwood style bad guy. That's how I see you. Pablo, you'd be down for that? Hi, by the way. Hi. Okay. Nipu Nipu, hell yeah, I love it. Good. Kalpesh, Mabinogi, not Mabinogi today. Today is Game Development Day. Mabinogi Duel on Friday. Friday. Nipu Nipu, you can be a chocobo again. You can indeed. Have you changed? Okay. I was wondering if that was you. Yes, you can be a chocobo again. Absolutely. I'm sure we can find chocobo graphics. Yeah. I'm sure we can find Chocobo graphics. In actual fact, hold on. I'm not only am I pretty sure we can find Chocobo graphics, I'm pretty darn sure. So RPG Maker MV Chocobo. So just quickly bring that up. Images. There we go. How's that? You can be one. We can literally build you into the game as a Chocobo. Fair enough. Awesome. Okay, so yeah, we're currently looking for a good, better place to put this shadow patch. Well, not shadow patch, but kind of dirty patch. Where do I want to put it? Maybe here underneath the box, actually. Let's try that. Oopsie daisy. Undo that. Yeah, that's not bad. Okay, good. So there's a little bit of grubbiness. Maybe that box has leaked something that it shouldn't be leaking. Pablo, Samurai Quack, greater than Chocobo. Oh. Yes, Pablo becomes one of the heroes for complimenting Samurai Quack. Calpe, sorry for missing last stream, and it was very sad. Oh. Make sure you make it to Friday's stream. You're an hour and 47 minutes late to this one, though, so sooner for Fridays, ideally. Oh my lord, my life is complete. Well, by howdy, I do declare, Mr. President. All right, and maybe just a little bit, because I like this. So let's add just a little bit of scruff, whoops, to the wall. We're going to put it there so that I can right-click on it, and then I can shift left-click, and there we go. There we are. So it's a little tear there. So just hints here and there that it's not the most upmarket of offices. Samurai Quack riding a chocobo into battle is greater than literally everything else. Yeah, I'm going to have to create a Samurai Quack character now, aren't I? I'm going to have to pixel edit a Samurai Quack character. How easy / difficult would that be? Let's do that. We'll add another layer. We'll remove this one. Zoom in. Add another layer on top. Let's go gray that out. Pencil. Choose a nice yellow. All right, so we start with the basic shape. And then we add the head. A little bit more up there. And then we take some orange. What would be a good orange? Is that an okay orange? That's an okay orange for the beak. White for the eyes. A little bit of black. Take that yellow again. Not to scale either, unfortunately. It's just doing this literally just to see how difficult this would be. Let's make that light yellow a little bit darker without making it grubby, hopefully. No, okay. There we go. This is great. This is true art. Yes, it is indeed. Isn't it just wonderful? You can see my my sheer professionalism coming through here. Okay, now, Jesus. All right, that would be difficult. Okay, so we got his sort of side helmet thing coming down there. Not really the whole way, and then it kind of scrolls up and around. We should really be using black actually. There we go. And then off to the back there. And then that's solid. And it comes up a little bit more. And let's change... Oh, I'm actually editing the background layer. Whoops. It looks Arc Ross, yes. Happy little looks. Make some happy little clouds. And then we cut this into... we're going to have to cut that into sections, aren't we? And we do that. I'm doing this on the wrong layer, but screw it. This is just for fun. And we get a little bit of yellow back there and there. And we take this and we cut that into sections like that. We'll have the top one be a little bit longer. That's fine. We make that kind of orangey gold. Oops. There we go. Alrighty. Give him some orange line. I'll give him an orange line there. And give him horns. There we go. Gee, this is so bad. And we'll cut it down a little bit there, even though it's not quite accurate. Okay, and then we give him a grey chest piece. Down the front. Actually, let's give him, it's not strictly accurate, but there we go. All right. We darken that a little bit more, just to add some contrast to it. There we go. Right. Making darker games now, yes. Kind of looks like an Ushanka. I'll be honest, I'm not 100% sure what an Ushanka is. But there we go. All right, it's close enough. Honestly, we can get into the details with his, with all the rest of it, but I don't think we'll bother. I'm going to do a quick little chin strap. There we go. All right, Samurai Quack, ladies and gentlemen. Samurai Quack in pixel duck form. In terrible, terrible pixel duck form. And then we just need to put him on top of a chocobo, and we'll be finished. Jesus. Okay, yeah, I feel like we kind of got a little bit sidetracked there, and by a little bit, I mean a lot. Okay, but we're kind of wrapping up this map now, honestly. I think it's looking pretty decent. Again, if you're doing this professionally, then muck around with this a little bit more. You know, probably want to put like a secretary's slot in there. You probably want to pull this off a little bit and maybe up so that there's, you know, it's more broken up around here. This flat line up top, I really don't like that flat line. And then a couple of like edits as well would be really good. A proper display screen, maybe a little stand with some charts on it, a proper motivational poster there, a little bit torn in the bottom right corner, all that kind of thing. Nipu Nipu's hyped. Elixir thinks it looks perfect. Neon says very nice pixel art. Thank you, yes. Oh, I'm so proud of it. Jesus. Yeah, okay. I look forward to everyone's commissioning me now to do all of their high quality pixel art. All right, so let's take a look now at how the map looks when we wander around in it and all the various bits and pieces that we can do. So we've got the lights coming in here. Again, you'd probably want to... We're just going to edit this. Whoops. You'd probably want to change these windows so that they look like they were bringing in more light, make them a little bit clearer. We could do with a light switch, thinking about it, on the door there for the lights above. That flicker's looking pretty nice, though. She's looking like she's not 100% sure what she's doing. I'm waiting for my burrito. But that's all looking fine. Then we get close to that computer and floomp. Oh my goodness. That's weird. ... And we can turn on and off the TV. Yay. Okay, so everything's actually working. And I think, I mean, as a map, whilst it's not up to the levels that I would sort of personally demand from myself, it needs a few more details, it needs a little bit of tweaking here and there. As maps go, I feel like that's not too bad. Neon, try curved walls, like in conference rooms. Yes, the difficulty is that with RPG Maker, obviously curved walls are tricky. So, for example, we can... Oops, don't need that one. We can do... The way to do curved walls, you know, would be like that. Which is okay, but obviously doesn't look super duper amazing, right? And because RPG Maker just doesn't do curves. Oops. There we go, that looks better. Okay, so yeah, RPG Maker doesn't really do curves, and that looks a little bit odd, honestly, in normal terms. So yeah, the other thing as well, of course, is because this is all pixel art, it's all necessarily square. you know, everything is literally made up of teeny tiny little squares, and your eye kind of subconsciously almost picks up on that. So having stuff that curves or having stuff that that looks kind of realistic in this setting actually ends up looking kind of weird. As I mentioned it before, is why I don't use the Khan lighting, because it looks too realistic for the pixel graphics. It's this weird sort of visual dichotomy that kind of makes you go, ugh. You could, of course, edit curved walls in, so they actually did curve. But then, of course, you need to edit everything that would then go onto the walls so that it looked like they were in turn curved. You couldn't put a flat window, let's say, onto a wall that was curved. You'd have to make the window curve itself, and it's a lot of work. Now, their assets are already curved. You can search those in forum. Yes, but not assets that would fit this art style. This is the Pop by Vexed Enigma. It's a unique art style that doesn't fit with the default RPG Maker MV assets. So if you're going to do curved walls in this, you would literally need to draw them from scratch. And then, of course, as I mentioned before, anything that you're going to put on those curved walls would itself need to be curved, and eventually just making a lot of work for yourself. And given the characters here are very obviously squared, you can see the outlines around them here, very, very blocky outlines. Curved walls look a little weird when your characters themselves have square outlines. So yes, if you're using the default stuff, then you can get the, as Neon says, you can get the default, well, you can get assets that people have already made curved. You've definitely got a lot more choice if you're sticking to the default style. There's a lot more free assets out there that are made for that style, a lot more paid assets as well for that matter. But I really like the Vexed Enigma art style. I think it just really, and it's just that little bit of extra oomph that separates games from the crowd. So I like to stick with it. And I usually don't have a problem with squared walls anyway. The curved walls are nice, but it does add an awful lot to your workload when you try to put stuff on them. So, yeah, I think that kind of covers everything. And that kind of takes us right up to the 2-hour mark. So the date's kind of, live stream's kind of blasted past, which is pretty interesting. So, yes, if anybody is interested in the assets that are used, then jump into the Discord. I'll just... well, I can't send an invite link because I had to close the stupid thing because of lag reports. But yes, I think everybody's in the Discord anyway. So if you're interested in the assets used, the graphical assets and stuff, let me know in the Discord, and I will send you the URL link, which again I had to close down unfortunately, but to Vexed Enigma. Really, really talented pixel artist, so definitely pick up her stuff if you're interested in it. And if you're interested in the plugins that I'm using in this one or in my other games, let me know, and I can actually just send those to you directly, or just upload them in a big zip file into the Discord, because the credits are all actually in the plugins themselves. So you don't have to pay for any of the plugins. You've been over 2 hours. Geez, time just flew by. It really did. Just went whoosh, really quick. So yeah, once again, if you would like to see more of these live streams, and if you would like us to actually build a community game together where everybody in the live stream becomes a character and they all actually, you know, interact in the game and so on and so forth, then yeah, let me know in the Discord, because this was surprisingly a lot of, well, it's not surprisingly a lot of fun, but yeah, surprisingly a lot of people jumped in and got involved in it. So it'd be a lot of fun to make a community game, and then I can upload it onto the Discord after every live stream so that everyone can play whatever we've managed to create so far, and then just keep building on that with every live stream. So yes, let me know in the Discord if that's something you would like to see. For the rest of this week, tomorrow no live stream, but Friday there will be a live stream, and it will be a Mabinogi Duel live stream once again. So if you have if you want to get involved in sub battles, get some free gems, all that kind of good stuff, be sure and stop by for that. To everybody else, we'll just quickly save that. To everybody else, yeah, thanks an awful lot for stopping by and for getting involved. And yeah, if you'd like to see more of these game dev stuff and you'd like to build a big community game together that we can all get involved in and all play, let me know in the Discord. Otherwise, I will see everybody on Friday. Thanks for stopping by, everybody. I appreciate it. And peace. And also from Samurai Quack. And I think we will leave his wondrous glory up for all to see now. Bye.